Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at SUI, see what's going on. And what I typically like to do in these videos for starters, because we got a lot of new members coming over, just like to kind of mention this. We really just like to look at liquidation, kind of understand best practice, big picture, see what we can do to help get perspective on where this might go. It's not an exact science, but we do have it pretty narrowed down. It's a pretty good little situation here. We are currently in a long right now with SUI in profit. We hit 33% in the last 5 days for that. And then, of course, AVAX, we took a long yesterday, about 12 hours, 32%. Keep in mind, those are just 5x leverage trades, folks. We're not getting out of control with leverage. I'd say half the reason why we hit our targets because we're not getting liquidated ever, right? We have our stop loss well in place before our liquidation potential event. And more importantly, lower leverage, inherently less risk, okay? Anyways, let's take a look at the left-hand side here. This last 7 days of liquidation, we can see a lot of people are heavy at 4.1 to 4.4 as a rough estimate there. Obviously, $4.10 is that heaviest concentration. To the downside, of course, we can see 280 is that secondary and 320 secondary, tertiary is 280. So again, we're smack dab in the middle of a pretty large liquidation range. So not a big deal there from the last 7 days. But when we look at the last 30 days, we can see pretty obvious we're much closer to this upper level liquidation. We've got a cup and handle pattern playing out here so far with SUI. There's a solid chance we see a breakout to the upside here soon. Again, that's just kind of the premise that I'm going under there. When we take a look here, though, we can see with liquidation delta, there's a solid amount of shorts in play right now for SUI, which with good reason. It's establishing lower lows and lower highs. Hasn't broken free from its descending trend yet, so that is sensible. But just know right now at this point, we got more people taking shorts than longs with SUI, which I personally think is a bad idea just because shorting SUI is just generally, it results negatively. I'm not talking about like the fact that it's going down too. It's really difficult to short this coin. It goes on runs, don't get me wrong. I've shorted it with some success, but I'm literally 50-50. It's like a flip of a coin. That's not how I like to trade. My average trade per month that I share with my community, we're like 75-80% month to month, okay? So 50% is not good. I don't think trading to the downside for SUI is ideal because it responds super strong to any type of bottoming out from Bitcoin. We'll look at the charts here soon. I'll explain what I mean by that. But right now we got some pretty late longs here at 380. Some folks are underwater on this coin. Again, they're trying to break out trade, which is never a good strategy. So try not to be a breakout trader in this market. I wouldn't say any market unless it's like a full-on bullish, everything's just on fire. That's a case in point where breakout traders can be successful, but they are few and far between, I can tell you that. And again, I've tried that over the years, and breakout trading is just not an optimal situation. You got to know there's a time and place for it, and right now isn't the time. Okay, so daily time frame, we got a significant amount of bullish convergence from yesterday. We went from 330 up to like 385. So super high amount of volume coming into this coin, followed by so far a doji candle here today. So it's not fantastic. We're under 70 in the RSI. Money flow index is increasing. I like that. That really implies that we got more money flowing into this coin last 14 trading days versus the previous time frame. So it's averaging out higher, implying we're seeing more buying pressure and more sustainability at this price point. Same thing here with stochastic. Stochastic swinging up. We can also recognize that the 4-hour time frame is letting us know here that we're above all moving averages. That's super positive, okay? That reinforces this support range that we have here between 343 and 363. Okay, so there's a bit of a support range. The only reason why we saw this candle wick down here is because Bitcoin retested its support at 94,700. So if we take a look here at Bitcoin, you'll see pretty quick that the price action wicked perfectly off this lower support, continued higher to retest this descending type of trend, okay? We break above 96.5, I think a lot of alts are going to do well today, okay? So that's kind of where we're at there in that regard. When we take a look at SUI, we can recognize here too, though, that there's a lot of confluence, a lot of positive stuff here. This support at 363 is still holding. While we've wicked down below it 3 times, we're still holding above that level. You could argue that we are in a descending type of pattern here, and those are generally bearish, especially if you continue to retest lower levels. So that's all the more reason why waiting for Bitcoin to stabilize is important. But you got to recognize too, SUI has a tendency of taking off when Bitcoin does poorly, minus this recent pullback. So it's a really strange thing, but for the most part, you're going to find statistically larger success taking longs and shorts with SUI. All right, we're over 50 on the RSI. Stochastic's pulling back. Money flow index is above the RSI. What does that tell us? It tells us a lot, really. It tells us that the overall sentiment here is that people feel like it's still a good value to buy in this range. but also that we have a lot of money flowing into this coin to back that up. Really just reinforces that support level below us, emphasizing the fact that we have a chunk of open interest below us here. A lot of people are really feeling comfortable taking longs in the 340 to 360 range. Okay, and I like that. That's the case in point where I like to take a long. In fact, we got in that 343 range, as a matter of fact. Take a look at the hourly time frame. We can recognize the Ichimoku clouds are going to confirm here in a few different ways that we're good and bad. And let me explain that. First of all, when we take a look here at the charts, we kind of zoom in. Sorry, just getting things organized here. With the cloud here, what we want to recognize too, first of all, there's 3 indications within the Ichimoku cloud. First things first, lagging span kind of implies what side of the tracks you're on. We have shifted into a bearish type of scenario here. Okay, so all the more reason why taking along at this exact moment may not be advantageous, just because we're establishing lower highs and lower lows, right? You can kind of see that. So not a phenomenal sign. However, this type of descending trend after deriving, kind of since it derived from the downside, it's more likely to break to the upside because it's a bullish continuation pattern. Okay. Now again, you don't take trades based on patterns, but you need to know that is congruent in a lot of ways with 343, 363, that support range below us. So every time the price travels into this range, it's instantly rejected to the upside. Furthermore, too, the lagging span and the conversion line, they're kind of compressing together, implying that we don't have good momentum either to the upside or downside. In turn, that's kind of a sign to say basically, don't take a long or a short. The only thing that's kind of holding us in place here so far, and this is usually where this 0.618 fib level here, where we're seeing right now with a lot of support, is in play, is this cloud here. So we got a lot of support here in this range. So if the price continues to move sideways, consider to be a no trade. But if the price continues up like this, that's where you want to consider taking a long position. And again, that reinforces the fact that we'd be breaking our lower high, lower low pattern if we were to move up a little bit higher to this 370 range. Okay, you combine all that together and you look at this liquidation of the upside, there's a solid chance we're going to see the price continue up to the $4 to $4.10 mark. That's just kind of, to me personally, kind of feels like an inevitability. But again, I've just been reading the charts every day for years, so what do I know? This just has that certain feel to it, especially knowing this coin pretty well. So it can still pull back, folks. You got to realize that this is not perfect. It never is. But the truth is, there's a lot more positive than negative here on the macro and the 4-hour transitionary timeframes than the hourly is kind of leading us to believe. That in combination with this potential cup and handle pattern, which again, they're never exact, but it's playing out the way that it should, it leads me to believe that along in this low 360s seems like a sensible consideration. Again, a lot of it hinges on how Bitcoin behaves here at this 96.3 mark. We're right there at the resistance. So if it rejects and pulls back, different story altogether, but SUI does look like it wants to rip here soon. All right, folks, let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Love to hear it. If you're new to the channel, thanks again for hitting the like button. You've been watching for a while. Deeply appreciate you always hitting the like button. We got some really hardcore followers, so thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Oh, don't forget to check out Bitunix, folks. $12,000 prize pool here. All the details are down below if you're curious about using a new exchange. No KYC or VPN. Great for our US and Canadian members. I'm also going to post a playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, so if you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this, where I kind of just give you insight on what I'm thinking for the coins that I'm covering. Okay. I hope you have a good rest of your day either way. Thanks so much again for your time. We'll see you soon.